You have to go back to the 2012 season to find the last non-quarterback winner of the prestigious NFL MVP award. And sadly enough, it doesn't look like that streak will be broken this year either. Despite a valiant effort from Saquon Barkley, it's Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen who look set to be favored by the voters, and you can understand exactly why. Both players have been in imperious form, seemingly unstoppable as both passers and rushers of the ball, producing stunning highlights every single week. But which player is the most deserving of the award? Well, in today's video, we're going to make a case for each person and figure out exactly why the MVP race is an absolute bloodbath. Now, to begin the video, of course, we have to start with the reigning MVP for the Baltimore Ravens in Lamar Jackson. Jackson won his second MVP award in 2023 off the back of a career-best 3,678 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions through the air to go along with 821 yards and 5 more touchdowns on the ground at 5.5 yards per carry. That stellar effort helped the Ravens post a 13-4 record and win their first AFC North title since 2019, making Lamar an easy pick for the prestigious award. And I mean, honestly, for a guy who already has 2 MVP awards under his belt, coming into this season, everybody was kind of wondering, would he be able to step it up to another level? And well, to answer that question simply, yes, he somehow went from last year being amazing to even better this year somehow. Like, I mean, even with 1 game still to go, he has already set career highs in both yards and touchdowns, and he has done so by a big margin. His 3,955 yards so far in 2024 are almost 300 yards better than his previous best of 3,678 in 2023. And his 39 passing touchdowns are better than his previous best of 36 in 2019. Both of those previous bests came in years when Lamar Jackson won his first 2 MVP awards. But what makes, honestly, his 2024 stat line even more remarkable is the fact that he's thrown only 4 interceptions all season long, which is his fewest since his rookie season back in 2018. Oh, and the crazy part too is that we haven't even gotten to the rushing part yet. Like, I mean, Lamar is posting his highest total over the last 4 seasons with 852 yards and 4 touchdowns at 6.6 yards per carry. In total, that's 4,807 yards from scrimmage, 43 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions, which is simply a spectacular effort. Like, I mean, simply put, Lamar Jackson has improved on his passing numbers from both of his previous MVP winning seasons, making him an obvious option for the 2024 edition of this award. And of course, I mean, with stat numbers like that, there have been even crazier outings that he has done throughout the 2024 season. His 348 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Ravens' overtime victory over the Cincinnati Bengals showcased quarterbacking at the highest level, including one of the plays of the season.
Hill is the back. Likely in motion, he bobbles it, scoops it in, vacuums it home. Here comes Hubbard. Oh, he threw him away like a rag doll. And he throws in the end zone. Caught for a touchdown! Caught for a touchdown by Likely!
Like, I mean, truly, it's plays like this that make Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens an unstoppable force at times, with the elite quarterback time and time again making magic out of a seemingly lost play. Like, I mean, honestly, these highlight plays are like just a consistent thing that we've seen throughout this 2024 season from Lamar Jackson, and honestly, throughout his entire career. Like, I mean, there are 3 occasions this season in which Jackson has thrown as many or more touchdowns as he has incompletions, highlighted by a brilliant Week 15 clash against the New York Giants. The results of this game was never in doubt, as Lamar completed 21 of his 25 pass attempts for 290 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And if you can't do the math, that's an incredible 5 touchdowns to just 4 incompletions. I mean, even aside from just all of the performances that he has on a week basis too, he's also been able to snag some records along the way as well. His most notable achievement came on Christmas Day, in which 87 yards on the ground made him the all-time leading rusher at the quarterback position, surpassing 6,109 yards set by Michael Vick. Like, I mean, the fact that he's only done this in his 7th season and is at only the age of 27 is just a true testament to how just special Lamar Jackson is on the ground. Like, teams know that he can and will beat you with his legs, but there's still nothing they can do about it. It's crazy. The fact of the matter is that Lamar Jackson has somehow improved despite already having 2 MVP awards under his belt. His passing yardage and touchdowns have increased significantly over both of those seasons, and his passer rating of 121.6 currently currently ranks second on the all-time leaderboard. When you factor in that he also is the best rushing quarterback of all time, it's pretty hard to argue against Lamar Jackson being your MVP. However, as crazy as it may sound, Lamar Jackson isn't even in pole position for the award this year. That honor goes to the AFC rival Josh Allen. A big factor in the MVP award is the narrative that surrounds a player in the season. Allen currently benefits from that this year, having lost his top two receivers over the 2024 offseason. Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis combined for 243 targets in 2023, and their departure produced a lot of question marks surrounding the outlook of the 2024 Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen was going to have to get it done with an underwhelming receiving core headlined by Khalil Shakir and second-round rookie Keon Coleman. With key departures on the defensive side as well, many ruled out the Bills before the season had even started. Josh Allen had different ideas though, powering the team to a 13-3 record and locking in the second seed in the AFC with 1 week still to go. He honestly now is just likely going to put his feet up and enjoy a week off during the final week of the season, finishing up with 3,731 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions to go along with 531 yards and 12 more touchdowns on the ground. What makes this output even more impressive though is that people think that he's had a broken hand since week 1, so for him to be able to do that is just truly impressive. Allen has been on top form all season long, but his MVP hype really took off in week 11 when he saw off Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs. Allen had 317 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns in that 30-21 victory, capped off by a clutch 26-yard touchdown run. This was the signature Josh Allen taking the game into his own hands on 4th down and showcasing his speed and power to run around and through defenders in his way, handing the Chiefs their first and only loss of the season in the process. He then followed this up with a perfect performance in the snow against the reigning NFC champion San Francisco 49ers, in which Buffalo won by 35 points to 10. Allen didn't have to do much on this day as it was a game dominated by the running backs, but he was nearly perfect when called upon, completing 76.5% of his passes for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also adding 1 score on the ground. The funny thing about that stat line though is that, well, his 1 passing touchdown was to himself. Yeah. The next installment of this incredible stretch came 1 week later when he became the first quarterback since the merger to have 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in a single game against the Los Angeles Rams. Unfortunately, a bad outing by the Buffalo defense meant that the record-breaking performance was wasted in a loss, but the 6 touchdowns that Allen scored on that day proved just how much of a game wrecker he could be on his own. He was in similar form the following week against Detroit when his 430 yards and 4 touchdowns did come in a winning effort, outlasting the best team in the NFC. That incredible stretch of games just saw Josh Allen week in and week out put the team on his back. And also it was proving to everybody in the NFL that he was not only just unstoppable on the ground, but passing the ball as well. The fact of the matter is in a year when Buffalo was expected to decline, Josh Allen has propelled the team to 509 points from their 16 games, which is second most in the NFL, only behind the Detroit Lions. And honestly, there is really no denying that Josh Allen is having a special season, but there is a question of, is he really the MVP? After all of this will be the first time in 5 years that he has not passed for over 4,000 yards, and his 28 touchdowns are the fewest since his 2019 season. Granted, this likely would change if he played in week 18. Josh Allen's 3,731 yards in 2024 are good enough for only 9th in the NFL, and his 28 passing touchdowns are 6th best. His completion percentage of 63.6% drops all the way down to 24th best in the NFL, and his 15 turnover-worthy plays have him tied for 15th in the NFL according to PFF. And now, yes, I know stats don't completely tell the story correctly here if you do want to argue that, because you could argue that Josh Allen is making more magic happen with just less surrounding better players than Lamar Jackson does have around him, but still, I just don't like that argument. Honestly, even when we go to StatHead, which I'm going to show the graphic in a second, Lamar Jackson just wipes Josh Allen with the floor. It's not even close. Both players have played 16 games, but it's only the win-loss record in Josh Allen's 12 touchdowns in which he comes out ahead. Lamar Jackson has the edge in every other major statistical category, including completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, passer rating, and all rushing categories other than touchdowns. We also have to factor in the narrative for each player's bid as well. And yes, as much as I don't like it either, the narrative thing shouldn't play that big of a role in the MVP award, but it tends to. Not only that too, but the fact that both of these guys went head to head in week 4 clash and nobody is really still talking about about it is kind of concerning, because if we all remember, which I don't think a lot of people do, it was an ass whooping by the Ravens. I mean, back in week 4, the Baltimore Ravens hosted the Buffalo Bills and absolutely trounced them. Lamar Jackson completed 13 of his 18 pass attempts for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, earning a passer rating of 135.4. In addition to this, though, he also racked up 54 yards and 1 more touchdown on the ground, en route to leading the team to a 35-10 victory. Josh Allen, on the other hand, completed 16 of his 29 pass attempts for 180 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, while mustering up just 21 yards on the ground. And now, yes, I know you don't want to put a lot of stock into one game, or, just one game in the season shouldn't mean that much, but you can bet your ass that if this game was in the final weeks of the season, it would hold a lot more weight than it would have if it was played in week 4. So now, with all that in mind, can we actually call Josh Allen the real MVP? And again, yes, I know you can argue that Lamar Jackson is just in a better situation, as he has Derrick Henry, who is, I think, already broken the 2,000 yard mark, or is going to probably if he plays in week 18. And the attention that Derrick Henry alone demands does open the game up for Lamar Jackson a little bit more. Allen, on the other hand, again, he has had a lot less to work with, but again, he is still being able to produce. He's produced 2 more wins if we really think about it. He's produced 2 more wins than Lamar Jackson has this year. But then again, if we really think about those couple wins that Lamar Jackson doesn't have, it's probably based off of a Justin Tucker missed field goal, and then definitely the this much of a toe that Isaiah Likely didn't score against the Chiefs. Those are the games that he's lost, which at the end of the day, can we really still think that Lamar Jackson isn't the MVP? And now, yes, I know that both players, when we really think about it, are playing, just the best football of their career right now. But how can you not give it to Lamar Jackson, who is already playing better than his past 2 MVP seasons? That just doesn't make sense in my eyes. 4,807 total yards from scrimmage, 43 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions is truly insane, especially when you factor in that Lamar Jackson is currently sitting on the 2nd highest passer rating in NFL history. In fact, that passer rating of 121.6 is in between 2 entries on the all-time leaderboard by Aaron Rodgers, both of which were good enough to win him the MVP award in 2011 and 2020. And yes, despite this remarkable effort by Lamar Jackson, it is the man from Buffalo who does stand as the favorite with 1 week to go, with the books giving him odds of -300. But Lamar Jackson is the only player that the bookies do consider a threat, putting his price of +240 on him to win the award. And if you want to see a video about how the Minnesota Vikings know exactly what they're doing, then click this video right here.